All right, good morning, everybody. This is CBS 19 meteorologist Joel Robinson here with a morning weather update on this beautiful Tuesday. We're currently streaming live on our CBS 19 Plus streaming app as well as YouTube and Facebook. So thanks so much for joining me this morning. We're going to be covering some rain chances going into the later parts of this week and as well as some cooler temperatures. So let's get started with your headlines for this week. Partly cloudy for today. Brief passing showers are going to be a possibility for some of us, although we do have plenty of dry air present in our atmosphere right now, so anything that really does try to develop will fall apart pretty quickly, and I think the same can be said for tomorrow as well, as that much drier air continues to stick around, so we'll continue to be partly cloudy. We will be a little bit cooler for your day tomorrow, especially as a cold front continues to move a little bit deeper into southern parts of Texas, or a little bit deeper inside of that cooler air mass. And then the big story is Friday into Saturday could potentially get in on a very decent soaking rain. So that is what we are talking about now. Our temperatures at the moment, a little bit cooler out to the north. We have some rain showers ongoing in that direction, but overall upper 70s, low 80s, lower 70s to the north, but a very pleasant day so far and lots of sunshine here. You got some thin clouds, a little bit thicker cloud covered off to the north, kind of where those rain showers are, but a very nice and pleasant day here so far. And the dew points are absolutely fantastic. We are looking at middle to upper 60s, which basically means that our humidity levels are down. So it just feels absolutely fantastic. Of course, they're a little bit higher in some of our southern parts of the area. You got Lufkin at 72, Crockett at 73, Palestine at 71, so a little bit more humidity in that direction. But overall, a much more pleasant day here across the area. And that also means that it's actually going to be feeling like the actual air temperature. So today will be in the upper 80s to low 90s. That humidity making it feel exactly like that, the low humidity, I should say. And we are going to continue to see some much drier conditions into Wednesday. Yeah, it's still a little bit humid for today, but it is going to be starting to move into that comfortable category. I would even argue it's already pretty comfortable outside, to be honest with you. But we got comfortable humidity values as we go into Wednesday, and then we move back to the humid category as we move into Thursday. That's when a warm front moves in, and that's when we could get an increase in those humidity values, an increase in moisture overall. So that's what we're watching for, and then big time moisture moves in as we go into Friday and Saturday in the form of rain, of course. Now, timing out the next few hours here, got a very low end chance for rain this afternoon. We're talking a 20% chance. That's basically maybe one or two of us getting in on maybe some sprinkles. That's about it. Again, that humid air that we're dealing with in our atmosphere right now is really going to limit our shower and thunderstorm chances for today. A lot of that will stay to the north, closer to Oklahoma. We'll be in the upper 80s for this afternoon. Could potentially get to 90 in some locations, but we are going to stay partly cloudy through the rest of the day. Our satellite and radar shows those showers moving through kind of close to where the I-30 corridor is, maybe a little bit further to the north. And then you got this right here. So this is right over Oklahoma, 1 to 2 inches of rain, maybe even 3 inches in some locations. But this is just your steady, long-lived, light rain that's just persistent. And I think we're going to have a very similar scenario as we go into Friday evening into Saturday morning. This is all associated with a jet stream, and the subtropical jet stream, that is. It's right overhead Oklahoma, and it causes what is called this large-scale synoptic ascent. So it causes this large area of rain to form, and I think as the jet stream tries to push a little further to the south, especially later parts of this week, we'll start to get the effects of that large-scale ascent to go over East Texas, and we'll see plenty of rainfall going forward. Here's another look at it here. So by Thursday, potentially close to East Texas by that time. It might be just a little bit further north than that, but as we go into Friday, it definitely will have a chance to move a little bit further south. Maybe even kind of angle it a little bit more this way, I guess, more so like northwest to southeast. As for the timing and the location of the rain, a lot of the rain is going to be happening in our eastern locations. That's what the current data sets say right now. That isn't to say that all of us won't be getting in on the rain. A lot of us will be getting in on the rain, but the highest amounts are likely to be in our eastern locations. Here's future Skycast in the meantime, and then we'll take a look at rain chances specifically by location for this weekend. So again, future Skycast showing those rain showers that are going on right now, staying to the north of I-30. Some of it could potentially make its way down, but again, we're really just dealing with some very humid or lack of humid air as we go into this afternoon. So a lot of what tries to get going will really fizzle out pretty quickly. Now, we did see a little bit higher in the way of dew points off to the south and west. So our southwestern counties like Houston County and Trinity County, maybe even into parts of Angelina County, Lufkin, Crockett, Groveton. You got some higher humidity values down there. So you'll have a better chance of rain in that direction, but most of us are much drier. So anything that tries to develop or even tries to move into this sort of environment will fizzle out pretty quickly. So that's kind of what we are dealing with right now. Same can be said for your Wednesday. Here's early Wednesday, potentially a couple of showers in place for Wednesday, but it is going to be very brief and very short-lived as it continues to move across East Texas. Wednesday comes around, humidity levels are going to be down even further. So again, we got a couple of showers modeled on the future Skycast, although I do think, especially with that lack of humidity, they won't be lasting very long. So anything, again, that tries to develop will dissipate pretty quickly. So I think a lot of us will remain dry and just partly cloudy. I think that's going to be it. That is until we get to Thursday. We got a warm front coming in. You see how the winds move from south to north there? So that's from the warm front that'll be moving in. That brings in more humidity, and we'll have another chance for maybe some scattered showers across the area. And with the necessary moisture in place at that point, the rain that we'll see will have a better chance of actually lasting through the afternoon. So that will be kind of the thing that we're going to be watching for on Thursday. And then we go into Thursday evening. Here comes the effects of another cold front, which will be arriving sometime around the Friday and Saturday time frame. So we got some heavy downpours possible going to Thursday evening, especially into Friday. And then this is about as far as the model will take us now. We'll be going to Friday, a couple of scattered showers. The main area that we're watching for, the main show, I should say, that we're watching for is not going to be arriving until later on Friday and into early Saturday. Again, the model doesn't go that far out, at least this model in particular, but there are some models out there, some of our longer range models that do have some of the rain chances at least laid out. Again, the heaviest rain, the best chance for rain will be over deep East Texas, Nacogdoches, Center, Henderson, Lufkin, Hemphill, Carthage. You'll have the best chance to get some decent heavy rain, potentially at 1.5 inches to 3 inches, which I'll show you exactly what that is. Map-wise coming up here, but all of us have that chance, at least a 60 to 80% chance of rain across the area for Friday. It moves down further to the south as we go into Saturday. Best chance of rain moves to the south. That cold front moves down. We got some much cooler air in place for this weekend. We're talking low 80s. It's going to be nice and pleasant, but the second half of Saturday should be way to the south at that point. So that'll be some good news there. Saturday afternoon plans should be in pretty good shape. Although I can't rule out maybe an occasional passing shower, maybe some pop-up showers behind the front, but the front should be moved way past the area at this point, and most of the moisture will be to the south. Sunday looks pretty good, 20 to 30% chance of rain there. I think most of us will be partly cloudy. All right, now let's look at rainfall over the next 7 days here. So 1.5 to 3 inches in some locations, a lot of us receiving at least 1/2 inch to 1 inch. That's a pretty decent amount of rain. But again, you can see the biggest, or the, how do I want to say it? It's the brightest colors or the largest colors, or the colors that represent the largest amounts of rain, there you go, again, are going to be in some of our eastern counties there. That's basically how the setup is going to be, especially as we go into Friday. So again, Carthage, Center, Hemphill, Nacogdoches, San Augustine, Lufkin, you'll likely be right in that track of the heaviest amount of rain or the longest lasting rain. That isn't to say that some of the rest of the area will not get in on the rain, of course. You can see plenty of rainfall there, at least a ½ an inch for sure across much of the area. But the highest amount of rain, based on how it's going to be set up, is mainly going to be, I'm going to say, east of US 69. That's the best estimate that we got right now. Highest amount, as of right now, 1½ inches, 3 inches, that's going to be over our southeastern areas. So again, that is what we're tracking. So Friday afternoon into early Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon should be okay. Should be okay. A couple of pop-up scattered showers. Most of the activity will be way to the south by that time. So that's kind of what we're tracking. Eastern locations, you'll get it on the most rainfall. The rest of us, at least a ½ an inch to an inch. So still decent amounts of rain in the forecast, but the higher amounts of rain are going to be around that 2½ to 3 inch mark. So that is what we're tracking there. All right, let's go to your 7-day forecast here. So 91 degrees for today, partly cloudy skies, occasional pop-up shower. Will not last very long in these conditions because we are so much drier. And then we're down to 89. We go deeper into that cooler air mass from that previous cold front. A couple of isolated pop-up thunderstorms, not out of the question. I don't think it'll last very long either. The humidity values are going to be even less as we go into Wednesday. Humidity goes back up. For Thursday, we'll be back up to 94. There goes that warm front, right? Anything that does develop in that sort of environment will have a better chance of lasting a little bit longer than the environment that we have right now. Things are going to fizzle out pretty quickly. But then we go to Thursday, things will have a better chance of being a little bit more long-lived. And then we get to Friday, that's a completely different story. Large area of rain, jet stream comes down. We have a cold front on the way. We're down to 81 degrees mixed in with that rain-cooled air. Again, talking about east of US 69, that will have the largest rainfall amounts based on how it's going to be set up, but all of us will have a chance to see some rain, some decent soaking rain. We're talking at least a ½ an inch to an inch of rainfall there. And then again, some of that will linger into your Saturday. Saturday morning AM showers. The rest of Saturday should be in pretty good shape. We'll be in the upper 70s to low 80s. And then for Sunday, all of that activity will be well to the south, will be partly cloudy, a slight chance of a stray passing shower or anything that pops up will not last very long. The coverage will be very, very minimal at that point. Most of us partly cloudy, and then we move to mostly sunny skies for Monday. So there is a really nice ending to that, especially as we go into Sunday and Monday. Again, Friday, Saturday is the day to watch for. A lot of that will be rain, just rain. Can't rule out maybe a couple of claps of thunder. I know there's some football games going on at that time. Can't rule out maybe a couple of lightning strikes with this, but a lot of us will just get in on that steady, persistent, soggy rain. It's not going to be pretty, but we'll certainly get in on plenty of rainfall for sure. And then some of that, again, lingers into Saturday morning, mainly just dealing with showers. We're all set for the rest of the day, other than maybe a couple of isolated pop-up showers on their own. So again, that is what we are tracking for the next several days. The biggest day, of course, to watch for is going to be Friday and Saturday morning, but that's about it. We're going to remain very, very comfortable over the next few days. Today, absolutely gorgeous. Tomorrow should be in pretty good shape as well. Those humidity values are going to be a little bit lower for tomorrow, so we should be in really, really nice shape as we go into the next couple days. Then the humidity returns on Thursday. We'll be back up to 94. Down to 81 for Friday, large area of rain coming in, and then that'll persist into parts of your Saturday, and then we should be dry for the rest of the weekend as that continues to move south. So again, that is what we're tracking. We'll have some updated information for you as the week goes on and even as soon as the noon show, so we will definitely continue to track that for you. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be sure to answer. But for now, have a wonderful and comfortable day.